Afghanistan is no longer the U.S. top concern among international terrorist threats to the American homeland, the nation's top spy said at an intelligence and national security conference in Washington on Monday, even amid ongoing fears from some critics who argue that the country could become a haven for terrorist organizations like ISIS and al-Qaeda to regroup following the U.S. withdrawal. Terror threats emanating from Somalia, Yemen, Syria and Iraq, in particular ISIS, pose a greater danger than those that might emerge from Afghanistan, Director of National Intelligence Avril Haines told the annual Intelligence and National Security Summit. Haines acknowledged that intelligence gathering in Afghanistan has been diminished, without U.S. troops there and without the U.S.-backed government in power in Kabul, but she insisted that the intelligence community has prepared for this reality for quite some time. Officials have said publicly that the Islamic State's branch in Afghanistan, ISIS-K, does pose a potential threat to the United States. The group staged a suicide bombing on August 26, in the midst of the American evacuation from Kabul, that killed 13 U.S. service members and dozens of Afghans. Haines said that a primary focus for the intelligence community now is monitoring any possible reconstitution of terrorist organizations in Afghanistan. ISIS still operates in Syria and Iraq, although the group has been tamped down by the U.S. military presence in both countries. In Yemen, an al-Qaeda offshoot based there has attempted attacks on the United States. And in Somalia, the U.S. has regularly conducted counter-terrorism strikes against al-Shabaab, which in early 2020 launched an attack on a U.S. facility in Kenya that killed a U.S. soldier and 2 U.S. contractors. But 20 years after the September 11, 2001, terrorist attacks, Haines also argued that the threat to the U.S. homeland from international terrorist groups has broadly diminished over time, crediting enormous effort from across the U.S. government to degrade the ability of groups like al-Qaeda and ISIS to carry out attacks inside the United States. The Biden administration and military commanders have insisted that they have what the military terms, over-the-horizon, capabilities, the ability to conduct surveillance and carry out counter-terrorism strikes from afar, that they need to uncover and prevent terrorist planning in Afghanistan. But former officials, lawmakers and others have raised doubts about the administration's plan, saying they have seen few details to support it. That means ensuring that we have sufficient collection to monitor against those indicators, so that we can provide a warning to the policy community, to the operators, so that they're able to take action in the event that we do see that, she said.